Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your favorite rapper Billy or B Sizzle, whichever you prefer. Today we're going to be reacting to Why I Don't Like Reading by JaidenAnimations. I love Jaiden's videos a lot. She's funny, she's cool, and we have some things in common. The only thing that we don't have in common is that Jaiden is vegan and I'm not. I think that's the only thing we have in common. And she's much older than me. She's like 30 and I'm only 21, you know? So, we will see what happens. The original link video will be in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to JaidenAnimations. And without further ado, let's begin.
Reading, books, libraries, it's all boring. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. When I was growing up, it was pretty normal. But now I always hear people gush about how great it is to bundle up in a warm blanket with, quote, a good book, while the faint light of the fall evening peeks out of their cracked windows and hits their collection of plants perfectly. They've got a warm cup of chamomile tea they've prepared with the Keurig they use daily, and actually, it's a funny story. They were about to get one at Target because they were on sale, but they received one as a gift instead. What a coincidence! And they have a cat. I'm not saying that isn't a...
So, I'm not really a big guy of books either, but I was forced to read one when I was in ninth grade. And the story goes just like this. So, we had a book report project. I'm talking low because my grandparents are asleep. We had a book report project that was due after Christmas break, so I had to spend Christmas break over doing the whole project, and I was able to get it done by quarter two. And you know how it goes, like period, like interim one, quarter one, interim two, quarter two, and then when at the end of the quarter it's your report card, but at the end of the interim it's the progress report, and then there's interim 3, quarter 3, interim 4, quarter 4, and then at the end of quarter 4, and aka the end of the school year, that's when you get your final report card so that you can move on to the next grade. And depending how did you good in your classes, you either move on to the next grade or you go to summer class or you repeat the grade. So it's basically like that, and that's just basically what it is. But I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and it was really good. I liked it, but I just wish that I picked something different because I was just a normal 14-year-old at the time. I didn't even like reading, and I still don't. But I just enjoy reading electronic articles more nowadays than I did before. Let's keep going.
a poetic life you've got going on over there. But I still don't like reading and have a cat allergy. It's kind of complicated. The thought of reading sounds really nice to me. It's supposed to be calming and good for your brain in some sort of way. I don't know how exactly, but people repeat it all the time, so it might be true. But I think I've got some weird reading PTSD from school because the other part of my brain thinks about how boring and slow and too quiet it's gonna be, and I feel like I have to take notes and memorize things and identify the plot points and know the names and symbols.
This is literally me whenever I read. This is really going to be my, this is going to be the thumbnail. But I can kind of relate to this because sometimes I don't catch on with the plot and I see absolutely nowhere where the story is going. So I just guess on what the plot is and see if I can actually piece it together with just using context clues without actually looking at it. Let's keep going.
Symbolisms and To Kill a Mockingbird. And oh god, was I supposed to read up to chapter 7 by Thursday or through it? I used to love reading. I still have the strong memory of going to my elementary school's library and being excited to check out the...
This actually reminds me, I was actually whenever I was assigned homework and I was assigned to read through a couple of chapters, I actually read the whole chapter because I decided that it was something that would kind of be on the test. So whenever I was in high school and I was assigned to read a certain chapter, the chapter that they told me to read to, I would just read the chapter so that I can memorize when the so that I can be predicted of what the questions would be. I also had a reading quiz every night from the other class. I would have to read the story, and would have a quiz on it the next morning, and I passed almost every last one of them. The ones I didn't pass, I either got one question wrong, or I didn't get the card back. I left it somewhere, but I did still pass the class anyway, and I'm glad that I did, because that was literally like the weirdest.
The next Geronimo Stilton book because I love the pictures and fun text they had.
Geronimo Stilton, I remember those. I read his sister books, Tina Stilton, but that's not the point. He was still the main author. But the thing is that I always liked the text and the pictures, because Geronimo Stilton books always has like some sort of cool text in a really cool font, or as well as like freaking pictures in there and all that, and I thought it was really cool how they always had like these mice characters, and I don't know, I just liked it for some reason. Let's keep going.
They always wrote the word cheese like this, and being able to read books that had more than 10 words on the page was impressive to a 6-year-old. Whenever I found a book I liked growing up, I would read it non-stop. I was able to crush a 300-pager in 2 days, which I don't think is considered impressive anymore, but it was in 5th grade, and look, that was the only self-worth I had, alright? But when school started making us read books by force, it kind of took the fun away from me. I don't like being told what to do with my free time, especially if you're gonna make me read a book written in the 1940s that I need Cliff Notes to decode just to realize that all the animals were communists. Also, it's 20% of my grade. I get it, though. What else are we gonna do in English class? We can all understand each other, right? We're speaking English. That's gotta count for something, right? But the more I had to read really cryptic books in my spare time...
Unfortunately not. English is just a subject for the commonology of reading, and it's just like basically reading and then taking a quiz about it. That's literally what I did in my school. I'm not surprised if Jaiden had to do the same thing.
A time where the symbolism is in the color of the main character's curtains, and I'm not even observant enough to realize they had curtains, led me to not really having fun and also feeling like an idiot. I like my subtlety like I like my coffee. Splash in my face. How am I supposed to know what the A stands for adultery? I don't know. It could mean a woman for all I know. Asparagus. But all that isn't anything new. Everyone complains about English assignments. Everyone hates reading this.
I don't know if you guys know what adultery is. Look it up in the Bible. It's somewhere in there. I know it is.
Scarlet letter. Everyone thinks school should die. However, something that also locked in my disdain for reading was my mom. Hi, Mom! Of course, as a parent, you don't want your child to do nothing but play video games all day. That obviously leads to undeniable life failure. So what's the solution? Make them read more. And on paper, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, I'll probably use that parenting technique too, when applicable. I think my mom made the obvious good parenting decision. But as the victim here, I believe I fell in the small minority where it had the overall opposite effect. During summer vacation, my mom would always tell me that I needed to read at least 2 books so I don't forget how to read. Whenever my mom would walk in on my brother and I playing Mario Kart together in the living room, she would ask if we've read yet today, which we would respond no, because reading's for chumps. And then she'd lock us in our rooms to be chumps. I started hating reading so much, I would rather do literally nothing than read a book. There were a couple summers where I faked reading entire books because I just didn't want to read that much. There was this one about dragons, I think, called The Secret Country, and I still remember that just looking at the cover would put me in a bad mood because of hatred association. Screw your secret country. When I was being forced to read, I would sit angrily on my bed, open the book, move the bookmark a reasonable amount forward to make it look like I read, and then just sit there for 30 minutes staring at it. It was boring, and I don't know what was wrong with me. I could have had at least a decent time if I just tried to read the dang book, but I guess it turned into a dignity thing. Actually, the ironic part is maybe a year or so later I decided to restart the same book and give it another shot on my own terms, and I finished it in 2 days. It was pretty good. I did it again with another book called Molly Moon and the Morphing Mystery. It's like the 5th book in this Molly Moon series. It's been a while, so I don't really remember the story, but it's about this orphan who can hypnotize people and has a pug. Anyway, it's funky because
That's actually kind of interesting. I might actually give it a try sometime, but not right now because I'm way too busy. Also, this is being recorded on a Thursday night, and I really don't want to have to upload this video late, because if I upload the video late, then everyone's gonna be mad at me, okay? So I'm trying my best to get this video out by Friday night. Alright, let's keep going, everyone.
I actually read the first few books of the series on my own and remember really liking them. I would read them any chance I got, but as soon as I was forced to read this one, I just decided I'd rather literally waste my time and sit alone rebelling against reasonable parenting. But this time I never went back to read it. I think that might have been the point of no return for me. I think the association of reading as a necessity or some sort of punishment has deep-rooted itself in me, and now I just feel like reading isn't fun or I'm in trouble for something even though I live alone. I've tried listening to audiobooks, but honestly, they make me feel really lonely. I don't know why. It might be the lack of visuals. I like pictures. And also no one else is around. It's the same with music. I've never been a big music person, so whenever I try to sit down and do something while listening to music, it somehow enhances this feeling of being alone and like time is going by slower, which makes me uncomfortable. So I always have either YouTube videos or more recently Twitch streams in the background. I'm still not super used to Twitch yet, but I like Ryukar's stuff. He plays Mario Maker. Sometimes I wish I read more. It might be good for me to slow down instead of always consuming fast-paced content on the internet, but on the other hand, I think it's just a preference I have that's been cemented with bad association. If you like reading, I think that's really great. I've got a lot of friends who like reading, and it's cool that you've got a really nice hobby you can fall back on to de-stress, or however you people feel while staring at words all day. I was gonna say you should recommend a good book I should give a try, but I took a second to think about if I would actually try to read any suggestions, and being real with myself, the answer is no. So, enjoy that chamomile tea. Hey!
Sorry if you couldn't see that, my hand was covering it. This is the end of the video. I'm sorry that this video wasn't as long as all the other ones, but I just needed to get this video done so that I can go to bed. Everyone else is asleep. I'm the only one still awake. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell, go subscribe to my music channel, go check out my Discord server, go ahead and check out my Twitter, my Instagram, and join my Reddit page. I only have one person in there. I think that's basically it. So I will see you all in the next video, and remember, I love you. Bye-bye.